What is so special about the seventh day of Pesach? As many of you already know, according to Hazal, we crossed Yam Suf on the seventh day of Pesach. But there's an additional factor that's special about the seventh day of Pesach. If you look in the Torah, it tells us that not only is the first day of Pesach a Mikra Kodesh, a Yom Tov, but also the seventh day of Hag HaMasot is also a Yom Tov. This is something we don't have in Hag HaSukkot. On Hag HaSukkot, it's the first day and the eighth day. So why is it that on Hag HaMatzot, that we're celebrating now, that the seventh day is also a Yom Tov? Is it only about the idea of Kiriyat Yam Suf? The Ibn Ezra addresses this question, and he mentions that if you look carefully at the Pesukim, you look carefully at the Torah, it tells you, Shiv'at Yamim Masot Tochelu, eat Masot for 7 days. And he mentions that Bnei Yisrael were not only eating Masot when they left Egypt, Behipazon, on Leil Tetvab, on the night of the 15th, but they had to eat Masot for 7 days, because they were constantly on the run from the Egyptian masters, from Paro and his army, running away to escape the bondage of Misraim. But they had to eat Masot for 7 days because they could not stop, therefore, to bake Hames, to make bread. And so during this 7-day period, although we left Egypt on the night of the 15th, although our freedom from Egypt started there, the freedom from Egypt was not complete until the 7th day of Pesach. Until the 7th day, during Kiriyat Yam Suf, when finally Bnei Yisrael saw and witnessed their masters, Paro, the Egyptian army, drowning in Yam Suf, at that point, finally, Bnei Yisrael were free of the Egyptians. They were finally able to be free from their slavery. And Ibn Ezra mentions, Shahare after Paro v'chelo tav'u b'Yam Suf, after they drowned in Yam Suf, Bnei Yisrael did not fear them any longer. They did not fear Paro and their masters any longer, because until then they were scared. Until then they were fearful. And so therefore, when we celebrate Shevi'i Shel Pesach, we should keep in mind that not only is the first day the day of freedom, but so is the 7th day as well. The freedom finally from the Egyptians. And at that point now, Bnei Yisrael are able to look forward towards Matan Torah. God is able to take them with the help of Moshe leading them now towards Har Sinai. And during these days that we're counting the Omed, counting up the 49 days to the 50th day of Matan Torah, which is ultimately our freedom in terms of our Torah learning, our Torah observance, the mitzvot, and our connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So when you celebrate tonight and tomorrow, and for those of us outside Israel, also the 8th day, when we're celebrating Shevi'i Shel Pesach, the 7th day of Pesach, we're celebrating freedom as well during these 7 days to continuously celebrate our freedom from Misraim.